Okay, I've had this Joey Landreth 2-rock amp for a couple of weeks now, and to be honest with you, it's been a struggle to come up with the content that I want to, because this amp, it sort of doesn't fit any mold, that I know of as such. It's not, the 2-rock classic reverb, I could basically say to you, it's sort of like a vintage Fender amp with, a slightly more modern sound, but it does similar things. The TS1, I could say, well, that's the Dumble Overdrive Special sort of amp. Pretty, accurately say that. And with the Joey Landreth one, sorry, I can't say that. I can't say this is what they've done and this is what this is and this is how it works and this is exactly what happens. It just doesn't work like that. So what I've decided to do finally, after spending a week or so prevaricating, is I'm going to just come out with quite a few videos, and it's going to be different guitar in each video and probably a different pedal in each video and some sort of element of the amp that I'll talk about and play something to do with. So if you're interested in this amp, subscribe to the channel. That helps me greatly and allows me to spend more time producing content. And I'm really hoping over the next 10 days that I'll come out with a good 5 or 6 videos, starting with today's baritone. This is the Castedosa Conchers Baritone, one of my favourite guitars, and I thought it was an apt start because, of course, Joey Landreth often plays with low-tuned guitars. His main guitars are pretty low-tuned, and I'll be using other low-tuned but not baritone guitars as well as normal-tuned guitars. So I hope you find that interesting. Right, let's hear a bit more. So throughout this video, I'm just using the Dominion Fuzz. It's in the germanium setting, and it allows me to get a decent amount of cleanup and to really boost the amp. And I think it works really well. The Joey Landreth amp clearly made for pedals, but we'll discover more about that as time goes on. Seeing as this is the first video in this series, I'm going to give you the quickest rundown I possibly can. This is a 100-watt amp, switchable to 50 watts. It's very large. It takes the same footprint as the Silver Sterling Signature, which is the other massive amp. And they made 75 of these, or they are making 75 of these. I don't think they're all made. Just going from left to right, We've got the gain, then we've got the EQ with all the switches that you can put in, and then we've got the tremolos, the harmonic and bias tremolo, the reverb, which is not as simple as it looks. There's another dial on the back called reverb send. I generally have the reverb send on the back pretty low down. I'll show you in another video what happens if you don't have it low down. This is the biggest reverb I've ever heard in an actual analog thing in an amp. We have a master and a presence. Again, I'm going to show you in another video how the gain and the master interact. It's not quite as intuitive as you might expect, and the amp is one of those that doesn't necessarily just do what you think it might do, and that makes it a bit of an adventure and something that's actually made me think a lot about my playing and my dynamics and how I want to sort of fit myself in a mold or not, you know. Rather than dialing in just blues tones and things that I do with most amps. Basically, here's my thought. Almost every other amp in the room that I've got, from a Magnatone to a vintage Vibrolux, a Rift Wheelhouse, yep, an Epiphone Valve Junior, Woolly Coat, Rift, Brown, Princeton, KF30 over there, that's a Tweed. I've got a Trainwreck copy, I've got a Marshall JTM 45 copy, I've got the Rift Ainsley Lister, I've got the TS1, I've got the Classic Reverb. Right, okay, almost all of those I can dial in to get the blues tone that I want, you know, whether it's BB King or a bit heavier, and then hit a pedal. I plugged this amp in and thought that's what I'm going to do. And I mean, you can do it. If you really want to push it with certain pedals, it will do whatever you want it to do, but it's not the natural place for it. If I'm going to place this amp in a category, it's like the hipster of amps. Okay, it's got this completely different feeling to it. Now, it's not quite as bare to play as a, when I say bare, as tough at the front end as a TS1 or a Bloomfield Drive, or even a classic reverb. It's got a little bit of give under the fingers, but what it has got more than anything else is this need for you to be as dynamic as possible. And that makes sense. I messaged Joey Landreth about it and asked him, I said to him, I'm setting the gain on absolute max a lot of the time. I'm not now, but I was at the beginning when I first got it. And I'm still not getting these big overdrive tones that I'm used to getting. And he's like, well, you can see what he wrote me back. So I don't want to go through every part of the amp in this first video. This video is really about just appreciating that the low end on this amp is incredible. It's massive and it sounds amazing. And you wouldn't expect anything different from this particular amp, I expect. Now, I didn't even have to turn the bass down that far for it to just be in control, which is really impressive. The EQ on here is fantastic and it's a bit different to the other two rocks. I'll go through that in another video again. Now, the last clip that's coming up is more of the same, but it was actually when I just first plugged in with the baritone. And I wanted to keep in a bit of me just tweaking a few things and some mistakes. And you'll sort of see in my playing just that I'm trying to feel it out. And I've kept in some mistakes and stuff. And, over this next 10 days, if you're intrigued by this amp, if you're waiting for one, if you're thinking maybe down the line someone's going to sell one and I can buy it and you want to see more, I'm hoping just to put out enough actual sound clips that you just can enjoy that. And, put more stuff out there on YouTube. You never know, in 5-10 years you might be buying one of these and can't find much, and maybe there'll be 10 videos of mine that you can look at. If you're watching it then I wonder what I'm up to now. Anyway, so enjoy that last few minutes, and if you give this video a thumbs up, that's really appreciated. Let me know down in the comments what you'd like me to talk about with other guitars. I'll be filming another one probably tomorrow, so if you see this now, then as I say, leave me a comment, let me know what you're really interested in. I don't know what guitar I'll use tomorrow. Maybe my low-tuned Gibson Les Paul. That's, no, obviously that's what Joey's playing at the moment, not a Gibson, but Sorokin, but he's playing a low-tuned humbucker Les Paul. So that could be a good one to do. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. And yeah, cheers.